After 7 years, it's finally here. Was it worth the wait? Well, let's find out. Iron Sky: The Coming Race is the sequel to the 2012 action comedy satire Iron Sky. I did a review of the original Iron Sky a few months back in April when The Coming Race originally released, but only over in Europe. But now we just got word that Iron Sky: The Coming Race is finally coming stateside this summer. The movie also got a Blu-ray release over in Europe recently. I found all of this out in the same day, and it left me with a bit of a conundrum. Do I wait a few more months to see this movie in theaters that I've been excited for a long time, or do I import the Blu-ray from Europe and hope that I can make it work? Well, I'm gonna go see it in theaters when it comes out here in the States. But in the meantime, I'm gonna import this motherfucker because I can't wait to see it. And that's what I did. Thankfully, after I ordered the movie online and it finally got here, I was able to get some programs to fool the Blu-ray into thinking that it was playing on a European Blu-ray player. And I finally got to see my motherfucking movie. So did it live up to the legacy of the original? Did I love it? Did I hate it? Was it any good? Well, that's what we're here to talk about. Iron Sky: The Coming Race picks up about 20 years after the original Iron Sky. If you haven't seen the original Iron Sky, you might want to fast forward a little bit because there are some spoilers leading into the story of Iron Sky: The Coming Race. You've been warned. After the destruction of the planet in the end of the first movie, all the survivors of Earth have gone to the moon to live in the previously occupied Nazi moon base. Unfortunately, after 20 years, things have started to fall apart at the moon base. They're constantly having to figure out how to feed everybody and also fix things that are breaking down left and right. The movie follows Obi, played by Laura Rossi, who is the daughter of Renette Reichter, played by Julia Dietz from the first movie. One day out of nowhere, a ship arrives at the base from Earth. Everybody's on high alert because of this, because no one's supposed to be alive on Earth. It's a radioactive wasteland at this point. No one's supposed to be down there. The arrival of this ship and its occupants bring on a host of new characters and problems for the moon base. And through a course of events, a group of the characters need to return to Earth to retrieve something. I don't want to say too much as to ruin the story and spoil things, but upon arriving there, they find lizard people, dinosaurs, a conspiracy going back so far as biblical times, and Steve Jobs. The movie also has a great mid-credit sequence that opens up a whole new can of worms for this series. The story in this movie is exciting, fun, and pretty damn funny. It's not as loaded with satire as the original one was, but it has definitely got plenty of satire to go around. This one is a little bit more focused on being more of an adventure story than a satire. But that's okay because it's a really fun adventure. And while it's not as much of a satire as the original one was, it is still just as ridiculous as the first one. But ridiculous in a really good way. There is a bit more expositional narration than I think is necessary for the movie, but it in no ways diminishes the good time you'll have with this film. But it is there, and I didn't really think it was very necessary. The performances this time around are markedly better than the original, which I think is a good thing because since the movie's not so much of a goofball satire and does take itself a little bit more serious, I don't think that all-out campy style of the original movie would have worked as well here. That's not to say that the movie's not goofy sometimes, but compared to the original, it's definitely not. Still ridiculous and a great time though. All the leads in the film do a really great job, but the standout here is Kit Dale as Malcolm. I've never seen this guy in anything else, but every time he shows up on screen, it was a joy to watch it. He was by far the most charismatic character on screen at any given time. Not to say everybody else doesn't do a great job too, they do. All the returning cast members from the original movie and the all-new cast do a really good job here. Tom Green even shows up, and it's not even in a bit part. He's in a fairly good amount of the movie. Where the hell's that guy been? He plays a religious cultist-like leader on the moon base called the Jobsists that worships Steve Jobs and everything Apple. And it's admittedly some pretty funny shit. With the original Iron Sky, I really applauded its special effects work, especially considering the small budget they had. And I don't know if the budget for this movie was a lot higher, or if the 7 years between films, technology just really progressed that much. But this movie looks a lot better than the original. And I thought the original looked pretty good, but the special effects in this movie look great. And this is a very special effects heavy movie. The blending of the special effects and real life are much more seamless this time around. And everything just has a much crisper, higher quality look to it. With the exception of one single scene. There's a scene about halfway through with 2 raptors in it. It's not a very long scene. The shot lasts about 10 to 20 seconds in all. And it's not absolutely god-awful. But compared to everything else in the movie, it definitely stands out. But it in no way, shape, form, or fashion ruins the experience at all. And it is only a few seconds. Beyond that very short moment, everything else in the movie looks great. Everything from the special effects to the production design to the sets looks fantastic here. The movie overall just looks a lot more expensive. Guys, after all said and done, I really enjoyed this movie. And as a massive fan of the original, I was not disappointed at all. Even though, yes, it does change up the tone of the original movie, it was really fun to explore this universe without totally forgetting its roots. I think fans of the original will be very pleased here, and if you're not a fan and you haven't seen the original, I think you can have a good time with it as well. It has great action, funny as hell comedy, and biting satire, and is absolutely worth a buy. So please, when this movie comes to your area, go out and see it and support these filmmakers, so that hopefully we won't have to wait another 7 years for Iron Sky 3. So there it is, guys, my review of Iron Sky, The Coming Race. If you enjoyed and want more content like this, hit that subscribe button and help my little channel grow. If you liked what I had to say, give me a thumbs up. If not, let me know in the comments below why. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.
Coffee machine is online.
This movie is genuinely funny and cool as hell at the same time. How can you not want to see a movie that has this in it?
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Sieg Heil, Mutterfickers.
I mean, really, what part of you doesn't want to see what leads to that?